Welcome back, MTG Joe here. We're doing some deck upgrades. We have this Explore Anthologies 1 coming out on Thursday. Hitting some cards, missing some. Where's my Nykthos? Where's my Dreadboard? Where's my Monastery Swiftspear? Where's my Eidolon? But we did get some cards to get us closer to Pioneer versions of existing decks. And the card we're going to be looking at today is Favored Hoplite, and it is going into the Boros Prowess, Boros Heroic deck. So Hoplite's a 1 mana 1/2. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Hoplite, put a 1/1 counter and prevent all damage that would be dealt to it this turn. So if they try to stomp it, you can get around like any burn damage, combat damage, stuff like that. So this is another good 1-drop that scales. This will be, as if we jump into it, let me just swap over. This will be replacing the Clever Luminancer, which is not a good card. So it always keeps the buff. You don't have to consistently play stuff, and it has base power. So right now this is a placeholder. We'll add it in. Notably, we are missing Monastery Swiftspear, which is a 1 mana 1/2 Prowess Haste. That's typically played in lieu of the Soulscar Mage, but in this case we're going to be playing Soulscar. So those are kind of the cards missing right now. We're also missing the Pain Land, which gives us just another untapped land for this particular deck. But with the core of this deck, what you want to do is play out some of these aggressive 1-drops that get bigger when you target them, and then use a combination of pump spells and protection spells to get around. There's a version of this deck that plays Feather the Redeemed. This version is just low to the ground, trying to kill your opponent as quick as possible. You also are able to play Jengantha without playing Feather. But you have your creatures. If you look at your creatures, you have the Hoplite, you're going to have Soulscar Mage, and then you're going to have Illuminator Virtuoso. Gets bigger, connives, as well as double strike, so it could kind of just combo kill your opponent out of nowhere. You have Arcanist to flashback spells, as well as 10th Street that gets bigger and lets you kind of filter your draws. So now the spells we're going to be casting in this particular deck. We have Defiant Strike, which gives +1/0 and draws you a card. So a lot of these cards you'll notice have the theme of either protection or kind of cycling themselves to just get you incurred value. You have God's Willing as a protection spell, protection from any color, but also an ability to let you attack through blockers and kind of sneak through damage. You have Homestead Courage. This is something that's good that you can either like discard with Virtuoso, or is effectively 2 spells in 1. So if you kind of flood or anything like that, you still continue to get a bunch of cards. And notably it gives the Vigilance, so it lets you be aggressive and defensive at the same time if need be. Ancestral Anger is a scalable card that again lets you cycle, but also gives you trample. So if you get like a big Virtuoso, you want a way to kind of push through that remaining damage. We also have Reckless Rage here. So notably, all our cards will basically outscale it over time, the damage that you deal to you, and this is oftentimes a 1 mana deal for kind of kill spell on your opponent's side. We have 2 dual face cards. Dual face lands in Spikefield Hazard, as well as Shiziri's Shelter, just lowering our land count while keeping our spells. Some burn, as well as some protection similar to God's Willing. Just think of this as copy 5 of God's Willing. And then lastly, we have Invigorated Rampage, 2 mana, either target 1 or target 2 creatures, and it's basically giving them a buff and trample kind of mixed into there as well. So you have some utility lands in this list, Ijanjo, Dens, and Ramanap Ruins. And then looking into the sideboard, I kind of tweaked it for the format that we have. Notably, we are missing Rending Volley, so we are playing Fries in this case, but more protection spells and fight by 1. Notably, this doesn't get you around exile. Some portable holes. So I made the list that I saw, we're playing 4 portable holes. I was thinking 2 portables, 2 Devout Decrees. Devout Decree is going to hit mono red. It's going to hit any of the black base decks. It's going to hit Rakdos. There's a bit more flexibility with this card here. Now that might be wrong, but my thought is these are all removal spells, so I don't know how you want to get, like how in the Rakdos matchup, do you just want to be protective and be assertive, or do you want to have some angle of interaction with them? So that's something as you play the deck, you'll have to kind of get a feel for. In the Rakdos matchup, there's a lot of direct removal. So pretty much any damage-based removal deck, you bring in a Danto that just survives a lot of those like fatal pushes, stuff like that. Against blue-white control, while this does get around sweepers, they have portable holes, they have marches, they have farewells, and they have wandering emperor. So there's a lot of ways through exile that they can get you that way. And then lastly, for the grindier matchups, Showdown, 4 mana, draw 4, get a bunch of buff to your creatures. So that's a quick one. I don't think this, you know what, I say that, but this deck's probably, let's see, so uncommon, 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 rare. It's still got a good density of uncommon, a rare here. So you're basically 7 rares plus your mana base, and then 4 rares in your sideboard, so and then 5 rares. So it's not a terribly expensive deck if you like aggressively slanted decks. You do sometimes run into the, I have all, like, what do I do with all these pump spells, but I don't have creatures. So that kind of part with it, but like I have a buddy who plays this deck a lot and frequently gets top 1200 mythic with it. He likes these Boros shells. But that's it for Boros. Let me know what you think. We will catch you next time. I got a bunch of these deck techs up, and we'll play some games on Friday, get a whole bunch of deck videos up with the new cards, and explore what this meta looks like. In any case, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great one, and stay safe out there.